Well, we have arrived at our last, last week this week, and and next week we will have the Thanksgiving break. So you've all just about done everything that you're going to do prior to turning in your full proposal. So let's take just a little bit of time and talk about the writing pieces, and in specific the formatting of APA. APA 6th American Psychological Association 6th edition writing format, which is what we adhere to in the discipline of HRD. So let's talk about it for just a little bit. Why do I have to know APA? Well, I consider APA, and I think that I say something like that in the framework, I consider APA much like a game. If any of you play cribbage, then you know that there are some interesting little rules, and if you don't know them, you're not going to do very well with them. Card games are much the same. Certainly poker has its share of special rules. Texas Hold'em does, and so of course do card games like bridge. So, and others as well. So APA is kind of a game. Knowing the rules, you can do very, very well. Why do drivers need to learn highway laws? Why do soldiers learn command and control? Why do skydivers learn jump sequences? Have any of you done skydiving? It's really fun. Why do biologists learn lab protocol? And why do nurses and doctors and others in an emergency room learn sterile technique? Well, what's the reason? They need to do that in order to follow protocol for safety reasons. We're not necessarily doing this for safety, but certainly protocol. And APA is the discipline of education research writing. Skydiving, if you've done a little bit of skydiving, you try it first, like this, if you get a chance to anyway. If not, then you probably are jumping off picnic tables and doing some things in order to get ready, and then you're on a plane. Maybe not as a soldier and getting ready to jump off. Maybe you're doing a static jump where you have something like this and then someone helps you release out of the plane. I'll tell you, getting out on that wing is really exciting. Letting go is even more so. And that's all what APA is about, right? Okay, so we're going to take a look at APA 6th as a set of style conventions. ISU requires APA for thesis and doctoral dissertations. We can also take a look at instructions for preparing thesis and dissertations, DA papers, and professional projects. The APA website is here, and the OWL Purdue website is here, but I will caution you, you will still need to make corrections. So knowing what those corrections are and how to make them will just make that much faster. Okay, so let's go through some nuts and bolts just as an overview. We're going to talk about today what conventions are preferred, when and how to cite a reference in text, how to quote a source in text, how to construct a references section at the end, and it's references and not bibliography, so please note that. The difference is that a references section includes everything that you mention in everything that you're going to cite in text needs to appear in the references, and everything in the references section needs to appear in text. If it doesn't, then there's an error. How to format a report title page, and how to format a thesis or field research project title page. All right. APA prefers active voice rather than passive voice. So what's the difference? In active voice, you're going to say Smith 2014 and Smith and Johnson 2014 surmise from their research that X and Y. Or you might say a research project shows X and Y, and then parentheses, Smith and Jones or Smith and Johnson 2014. You double space or space and a half. We generally double space. There's one space between sentences. We grow up thinking about two spaces between sentences, but here with APA, one sentence and only one space between sentence elements. So example, after a colon, there's only one space. We use plain text and Times New Roman or Arial. The strong preference I have is for Times New Roman, so let's all please adhere to Times New Roman. We want to bold the headings, and so please see the headings page. We want to italicize titles or special terms. Titles of journal articles, titles of anything that we'd reference, and a special term. Oftentimes there seems to be a strong desire to use quotation marks. APA 6th prefers italics. Or if you can, if in syntax it can be understood, then don't use anything at all for a special term, but somehow help the reader understand it through syntax. Quotation marks, again, are only used for direct quotations. Underline only URLs. Our margins on the left are going to be 1 1/4. Everything else is 1 inch. Okay, let's look at the headings. If we turn in our APA text to page 62, we will see that centered, bold, uppercase, and lowercase. And there are 5 headings. Flush left is the second level heading, bold, uppercase, and lowercase. Our third is indented 1/2 inch, bold, lowercase paragraph ending with a period. Okay, so now we're in sentence style. Fourth, we're at the same level, indented 1/2 inch, bold, but italicized now, lowercase and in paragraph or sentence style, ending with a period. And our 5th level is indented, italicized, lowercase, not bold, ending with a period. All right, here are the examples. And it's possible to use a 3-level or a 5-level. So decide which is more useful for your writing, 3-level or 5-level. When to cite in text, all assertions should be cited, period, end of story. So you can use your voice when you are synthesizing and weaving things together, but making an assertion as if it's a fact must be cited. Quotations must be attributed, so a page number immediately following. Again, if we're going to use active voice, Johnson 2014 states, then the statement, followed by, and have that in quotation marks, followed by, and then it's quotation, open paren, page 152, close paren, period. Now, if that quotation is 40 or more words, then we're going to block it, and we'll see that in just a moment. Paraphrasing should be attributed when the idea is that of the source author. So pay attention to that. We need to give the attribution to the person with the idea. Research writing is constructed from the literature and from research findings. It's not constructed from opinion. It's important to put multiple voices about that topic in case there, especially where there are differing camps of ideas in the literature. But we don't just want to look for the literature that supports our opinion, and we don't want to simply state what we believe to be true. Example, page 49, use a hanging indentation for our references section. The references section will include, and we'll talk about this, 4 books, 3 journal articles, 3 internet sites, and 1 dissertation. Note that references do not include a personal communication. A personal communication would be if you're talking to an authority on your topic, and it's a communication that you had either via email or via phone or via some other means. Maybe you Skyped this individual, and that's really good, and you can include it in your text. But because it's not discoverable, then you can't include it in a way that others would be able to locate and read for themselves what that personal communication said. And so it's in text but not in references. The references should only exclude discoverable information. Okay, 1 book with 1 author. Work Hard, 1999, Steps to Successful Graduate Experience. So that's our Work Hard is the name of our author's last name. I is the first initial, period. Then we have in parentheses our year with a period, and then we use in sentence style and italicized the title of the book, Steps to Successful Graduate Experience, period. Then we have New York, New York, colon, and the name of our publisher, Chill Books. New York, New York is where Chill Books was published. Okay, so that's pretty easy. We already knew that, I'm sure. Okay, a book with 3 authors. Ready, R-U, comma. So there's always a comma. Easy, G-O, comma. There's a comma before the ampersand. Daily, C-U. 2004, period. Whoops, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back, page up. The Building of Community, colon. Now we capitalize the next word, Strategies for Graduate Achievement, 2nd edition. The Building of Community, Strategies for Graduate Achievement, 2nd edition, Chicago, Illinois, Aldine. All right, we've got an edited book now. Write, D-O, and we indicate this is the editor. And the editor, 1994, sorry about that, by the way, is our year. Notice we're going to have ED again, but it will mean something different, and it won't be a capitalized ED. So watch for it. Research design, colon, qualitative and quantitative approaches. So after the colon, we have lowercase until a colon appears, and then we capitalize the next word, and then lowercase until the end of our title, and then period. Where it's published, the city, Thousand Oaks, comma, California, and then our colon, Sage. And notice that's the same regardless. And here's another book chapter. Fine, O-K, and strong, I am, 2001. Notice that the chapter is plain text. It is not italicized. Balance is key, colon. Then we cap an, interpretation, period. And here's where we say what book it's in. This is our chapter title, in, and we say the name of the author, the initial of the author, before the surname. B, well, and again editor, capitalized, ed, period, semi, or close paren, comma, and here's the name of the book. More Theory, colon, cap, reader, a reader, comma. And here are the pages where our chapter is found. Notice when we have a range of pages, we use two P's, two lowercase p's. Period, Pleasanton, California, Healthview Press. Now we've got a journal with one author. Cleaver, S.O., 1987, period. The Self-Efficacious Graduate Student, colon, getting it all together. Notice this is not italicized, it's plain text, but what do we italicize and capitalize? Yes, the journal. This is the article, and this is the journal, Psychological Review. Now what else do we capitalize? The volume. Volume is capitalized. There is no space between the volume and the issue. The issue is in parentheses, and it's plain text. The volume is italics, the issue is plain text, comma, and then we have our range, but we don't have PP when it's a journal. Reference a journal with 4 authors. Taining, M.A., During, N, More Stress, comma, C, and Ping, comma, K.O. 1999, period. Psychological Distress in Graduate Students, colon, The Effects of Social Support and Coping, period. So only 2 caps, and then we italicize, Journal of Gerontology. All important words are caps noticed in our journal article, or excuse me, in the journal itself. Journal of Gerontology, colon, Psychological Sciences, comma, and then we say the name of the volume, 64B, italicized, and then our number is plain text, and our range, period. And we've got an online journal. Linville, D, Lambert, Shute, J, Froth, C, and there's always the comma before the ampersand, Percy, F, 2004, period. Using participatory focus groups of graduate students to improve academic departments, colon, a case example, and we capitalize the A. The qualitative report, comma, and we have an italicized volume and a plain text issue. Then we have our range, and we can either use retrieved from, I think it's now just also acceptable to simply put the URL. Notice beyond the URL there is no period. An internet article, Delasio, ER, 2002. Now we include the month, period. Who moved my cheese? Question mark. Message continues to spread, period. Education world is italicized. So why is Who Moved My Cheese italicized in the middle of the article name? I know someone has that, and if we were in the same room in a classroom, you would have chocolate. I would have tossed you a piece of chocolate. Yes, it is because this is the name of a book, and this is the name of the author of the book, so retrieved from, and then we've got our URL. Okay, references, internet reference, Maimonides, 1793, notice how long ago that is, Daily Prayer of a Physician, medterms.com, medical dictionary, and retrieved from, and we've got our URL. References, internet, when there is no author or no date. When there's no author, we begin with our source name, National Commission on Entrepreneurship, and then we indicate, and then there's a period, then we indicate no date, lowercase n period, lowercase d period for no date, period. Stories of Entrepreneurs, Howard Schultz. Who's Howard Schultz? That's right, Starbucks. Okay, period, retrieved from, and we've got our URL without a period. References, dissertation, Cinch A, 2002 period, How Graduate Students Survive and Thrive, a Grounded Theory study, and the dissertation's Abstract International. We've got our volume, our our plain text issue, and then we use the number from the UMI. All right. The references, same author, Cinch A, 2003, Cinch A, 2004, and Cinch A and Can Do I in press. So how do we arrange these? We arrange them by date, and then by A precedes A and Can Do. So that's why we have the two A's first and then Can Do. In-text citing with two formats. Now let's take a look at the difference here. This is preferred. This is called active voice. Work Hard 1999 claims that there are 5 steps to being a successful, well-balanced graduate student. So notice that we begin, the subject here is our author and date. Work Hard 1999 claims that there are 5 steps to being a successful, well-balanced graduate student. It is acceptable to use passive voice here. There are 5 steps to being a successful, well-balanced graduate student, and then in parens, Work Hard 1999. This is acceptable. This is preferred. As much as possible, use the preferred. In-text quoting. There are 2 formats. Less than 40 words. Again, we're using active voice. Work Hard 1999 claims, quote, there are 5 steps to being a successful, well-balanced graduate student, close quote, page 62. Note that the period follows the citation right here, period. Oh, let's go back. Okay, or 40 or more words, then we're going to block left 5 spaces. So we're going to move this way, block on the left side, move in 5 spaces, or actually what we want is ½ inch. There are 5 steps to being a successful, well-balanced, and notice there is no quotation mark here. There are 5 steps to being a successful, well-balanced graduate student. Get plenty of rest every night, eat a healthful diet regularly, exercise often with friends, join a study group of fellow graduate students, eat chocolate to relieve stress. And then there's a period after our blocked quotation. Period. Then, open paren, Work Hard, comma, 1999, comma, page 62, close paren. Now, another way you could have done that would be to start Work Hard 1999 suggests, and then you have your blocked quotation, and then the parens would be just around page 62. Now, we talked earlier about personal communication, so let's take a look. Email, personal communications, undocumented sources. Take a look at page 179. In an early finding of an ongoing study, Work Hard 2016 purports new evidence that, quote, Chocolate appears to help students maintain balance, close quote. Personal Communication, May 1st, 2016. Okay, we cannot put this in the references section. Why not? Oh, that's right, because we cannot retrieve it. Our reader will not be able to discover where it is and look for him or herself. So, components of citing in text: when citing sources use ampersand only inside parentheses. And is outside of parentheses. We also use ampersand in the references section. Text: National Commission on Entrepreneurship, Work Hard, 1999. So notice that the N and it is alphabetically comes before the W in Work Hard. So this comes before, this citation comes ahead of this one. When they're in a group or a listing, they are alphabetized. Block the text, Work Hard, 1999. And the period follows the text, not the, it follows the text, not the citation. Here, it follows the citation. Okay, if we were doing this together, we would actually now have a little activity, but we don't. We're pretty much done for the day, and let's go forth and continue our writing. The next thing that we have due is our proposals. So I look forward to them. You will first have a week for working on your proposal this week, and then next week we've got 2 weeks before you turn them in. And I guess I have nothing more to tell you right now than enjoy your writing and happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.